Shell PLC presented by Dalia, Achille, Henry, and myself, Jaume. Previously funded as the Royal Dutch Petroleum Company and now is Shell PLC, funded as an original entity in 1907 and funded as a current entity in 2005. Expertise in exploration, production, refining, and marketing of oil and natural gas plus renewable energies. Shell sells a variety of products, among them lubricants, V-Power fuel, jet fuel, and renewable energies. Shell's balance sheet is divided into three groups, starting off with assets, followed by liabilities and equity. The assets show what the company owns and is divided into two main categories, current and non-current assets. Current assets includes inventory, accounts receivable, or cash. The non-current assets include property, equipment, or long-term investment. In a balance sheet, the more liquid an asset is, the lower it appears in the balance sheet. So first comes the non-current assets and then the current assets. The most significant number for the assets in the balance sheet is the amount for property, plant, and equipment because it almost makes up for half of the total assets. The number which is $198.642 million. Another noticeable aspect for the assets is that the non-current assets are way higher than the current assets, which shows that Shell is not really liquid. The current assets here are $165.938 million and the non-current assets are $277.86 million. Therefore, the total is $443.24 million. The liabilities are also divided into two main categories, such as the current and non-current liabilities. Non-current liabilities are the ones that have to be paid over a time span more than 1 year, and the current have to be paid within a year. The liabilities are sorted to the maturity, and therefore non-current liabilities occur before the current liabilities. It is really noticeable here that Shell has a high long-term debt of a total of $74.794 million. Furthermore, the high amount, $79.357 million, of trade and other payables is noticeable. The current liabilities will consist of $121.311 million and the non-current of $129.116 million are close to each other and give a total liability of $250.427 million. The noticeable aspect of the equity is that the retained earnings are really high, $169.482 million, which shows that the firm has high earnings and that it plays up the biggest part of the equity, which consists of $192.597 million. Therefore, the balance sheet is balanced out. Assets equal liabilities plus equity, or 443.24 equal to 250.427 plus 192.597. The structure makes sense to its activity because Shell is a global group of energy and petrochemical company and therefore it was expected a high amount of non-current assets, especially to property, plant and equipment. Furthermore, it was expected to have a high non-current liabilities due to the property, for instance. The income statement shows us the profitability of Shell in 2022. We can see how much revenue Shell has generated as well as the expenses they had to pay. We can see the total revenue and other income, which is $386.201 million. This is calculated by adding total revenues with other income such as share of profit and joint ventures and interest. We deduct the total expenditure to get the net income before taxation. When we subtract the taxation charge, we get the net income for the period of 2022. We know that for revenues, Shell made $381.314 million from sales in 2022. These revenue sources are divided into 6 categories: integrated gas, upstream, marketing, chemicals and products, renewables and energy solutions, and corporate. As we can see, the chemicals and products made the most revenues, followed by marketing. The biggest component of Shell's total expenses are the purchases amounting to $258.488 million, followed by production and manufacturing expenses, which are $25.518 million. Depreciation and depletion also made up quite a big component of total expenses, $18.529 million. Here we can see that the upstream made up the biggest component with $10.334 million. With all the other expenses shown, we are left with a profit made in 2022 of $42.874 million. Thank you very much for your attention and time.